better than I've ever seen him. And, you know, we talk about watching this guy play before in our careers. He has never played as good as this. He's never been given the role, so I want to see if that continues into map 2.
Well, we'll get to find out as we are underway into Mirage. And right now, Fiend are setting up outside the right bomb site. A is open for business. Yabby is playing all the way back from CT spawn. So with these smokes, a bomb plant looks almost certain on this A play.
And Yabby's going to try and hold it, but as you said, only player here in defense is probably better just to try and do some chip damage and drop back. He's going to drop back indeed, trying to get into CT spawn. He's got his teammates alongside him, and they're going to have to play for this retake. Yabby's going to be the front man, jumping around the corner, met by death. It's Red Star with a headshot. That HE goes soaring through. It could do damage onto some of these softer opponents, but it is Fiend getting most of the damage done. And Roy, what? How has he done this? 3 kills for him, and suddenly it's a 1 versus 1. He's looking for the kit. Oh my god, it's under the body.
It's on the body.
There no way. He can't find the kit.
Oh my god.
Oh, from hero to 0. Oh, Roy, there's
He's
not
just got to
enough time.
stick it.
There's a smoke down, yeah, but as soon as that happens, he's low on HP, and his Dreamer with the headshot. That could have been something, but in the end, it's something I want to forget.
Never pick Roy for your team on the Easter egg hunt, everybody at home. He is not going to find you anything. Oh, man. He was searching everywhere. He clearly didn't play hide and seek as much as a kid, Dinko, or maybe he was just always hiding. Damn, that is brutal. After you get that 3K, you just want the chance to have an ability to play for the 1v1. You just want a chance to use the kit and fake. Oh dear, what a shame. Nice effort though, and a chance with the Deagles perhaps, if Roy can continue his form, and if Nico does can land headshots with the Scout, which he's already done.
Nico does looking for the shot in towards short. The Xiphon. The first player contesting that top connector. And Bubble, he's gone down as well. Roy's in such a good spot. Surely the Deagle gets something here, and it will. Oh, this is a nightmare for Fiend.
They're just so spread out. They're giving away the 1v1s to the Deags.
Really, yeah. That's the biggest issue right now. They're just making it too easy for them. Here's another 1v1. Likely to come on up, and Shot give it away. Oh, Hooksy, there we go, eventually. Almost unlikely if Shots actually lands the Deagle headshot that time around. Victor at least making sure it's not a clean sheet, but the round is concluded, and it's Copenhagen Flames with the Deagles making it work. That is definitely not the round you want to see if you're Fiend. This is not how the story should go.
And with some of the shots we're seeing from the Danes, I actually think there's a decent chance they could take Mirage if they continue to play to this level. I think they're feeling it right now. They are feeling good here in this all-important best of 3. Fiend themselves are definitely a team that are capable with the Deagles, but in all honesty, Fiend probably have to be the better team individually to win this series. And right now, Copenhagen Flames, in my opinion, have the edge in terms of individual form and in terms of team play. Feels like they're just better across the board right now. That's more like it. That's what we need more of.
Now it's the Deags of the Bulgarians. Will they be able to muster up the same success as the Danes? Oh no. Harn trying to upgrade his weapon in connector, ends up getting caught out because of it. But Roy just walks blindly into connector. He was blinded by his own goal, which was to get another kill, and didn't see what was right in front of him. A player waiting for him. And now Copenhagen Flames starting to drop like flies. Victor with another one. He's got the fly swatter. A 3K in the round for Victor. He's now got an M4A1S in his hands, and his teammates have also found one as well. This is getting really scary right now for Copenhagen Flames. In fact, it might just even be done. A retake in this situation is not going to be easy. And so Fiend might just get themselves the round win here, no problem. And it's going to be Victor looking for the ace now. He's got 4 kills. Victor has been incredible in this series so far. Really has been a talisman and the shining light for Fiend. Looking forward to seeing if that continues, but he's done one better in this round. He's given Fiend their second round of play with the Mirage, and it's immediately after a nightmare from the previous round themselves. So this game is too chaotic at the beginning, okay? This is going to be a real brawl.
And this kind of comes back to something I was saying earlier with Fiend, in that Victor is a player who has that ability to just win you rounds, and he will just do that individually at times. but he's surprisingly not relied upon to have to do that on this team, which is a massive upside in my opinion. Because as I was saying earlier, he's one of the lower rated players on the squad. It's actually some of the other players that consistently put up the star numbers, and then you have Victor in there just occasionally winning you massive rounds like that, which could completely turn the tides of this map. It puts Fiend back in a position where they can come out on top early, but there are 3 CTs waiting for them on this A site, trying to play some annoying angles.
I think this is what you have to do in these rounds. If you're Copenhagen Flames, you just play these annoying positions, try and cause some problems, but Fiend much better in their approach against the weaker buy this time around. They've already been bitten the first time around with those Eagles, and they realize they can't give them the 1v1s anymore, so it's a team play out of the ramp. Still a good hold though from Copenhagen Flames, being able to find a couple of kills. But Fiend have come out on top, they have kept that man advantage afloat, and now they've got the sight. Oh, I should have just spotted Hooksy. They did indeed, crossing into his jungle. They know he's in there. They've got him pinned in position. But Eagle is going to lurk for a shot, and oh my god, he's hit it perfectly. Right under the head of Bubble. And Hooksy looking for another one, but wasn't expecting the elevated position of Dreamer, but it's enough to turn it into a 1 versus 2. And with Zyphin's kill, it's now a 1v1. Does he expect to drop so quickly from Dreamer? He's no longer under wood, and now they're trading positions. Zyphin is going to tap the bomb, trying to pull Dreamer into the open, but they're missing each other, just playing with each other, and this is incredible how they've actually dodged the vision of one another up until this point. And Zyphin comes in with the kill, Dreamer down, and the young Dane goes for the defuse. He's going to hold it until his dying embers, and there should be enough time for him. It's going to be real close, and just about misses out in the round. Zyphin couldn't do it. He couldn't do it in time, and it's just that delayed positioning from Fiend in the 1v1 from Dreamer that just keeps it afloat long enough for that bomb to go off.
There were a couple of really nice positions in that round. Firstly, Yabi on the A site switches from default to Underwood. That was a really smart reposition to play a crossfire with that sandwich player. That got them a couple of kills on the initial hold. It got them an okay start to the round. But as you pointed out at the end there, Dreamer just repositioning and also realizing that his reposition was so strong that he didn't have to force the fight. He could afford to burn the clock, did so successfully, and now this round should be a much easier one for Fiend. Although the flash is good, it's only going to get them a Mac 10.
The Mac 10 of Harn is doing a lot of work, and I'll see if the CTs can do much with that. As Roy now the only player left with the Mac 10 in hand, and it will be one for him actually. Harn has gone down, so good bit of money on the fallback. Be able to get out of the round though, that's the question. The best smoke in the world, but he's going to be found from behind anyway. Victor 4-1 for Fiend. Victor 7-3. Great start for him. Harn now catching up. He's pulled out that AWP straight away. For Copenhagen Flames, their money's not in the best position, but it's certainly enough to get a buyout. They won't have an AWP on their CT side. They will get rifles across every player. Utility is quite limited. It's at a decent level, but the majority is held by a couple of players. Everybody else is sparse in utility. So you got to see that used pretty sparingly coming in for Copenhagen Flames in this one.
Something I pointed out over on Nuke was the fact that Harn is normally the author of the team. They're not ready for Red Star, but they are able to trade him out. I thought he was going to line up 2 headshots for a second there, but thankfully for Copenhagen Flames, their aggression hasn't been completely countered. A 1-for-1 trade isn't the end of the world, as they are able to gain a lot of ground over towards B. But as I was saying, Harn is the AWPer of the team in general. Over on Nuke, though, it's Red Star who was picking it up. So it's a nice chance to see what the highest rated player on Fiend can do with the AWP in his hands. Harn, as one of those younger players on the squad, will be called upon to be that star player. And look at this from Fiend. They now go back to B, but Nico Doz is playing safe on the B site. He may not spot them that quickly. Oh, he's seen him now.
Yeah, this is the charge. I don't know if he got that molly out in time. I don't think it's going to do much to delay anyway, but it has done some damage. Nikodar is only able to get 1, and Harn, he's got a double kill. Incredible stuff from Harn as he goes again. 3 in this round, and that should be enough. That should be enough for the round win. Yabi has no say in the matter. No kit, no utility, no money in the bank. It's got to be the save call as he goes into the mountains to hide and save. It's 5-1 for Fiend. And honestly, this looked like a pretty bad start for Fiend. They got the pistol, but the straight up loss to the Deagles somewhat told me what I needed to know. I thought this was going to be a Fiend that we seen on Nuke in the first half, but this is a completely different beast. Everybody's starting to hit their stride. And whether it have to be on the arms of Victor dragging them, kicking and screaming through the first 3 rounds, it doesn't really matter, because now they're in a position where they can fend for themselves. And Copenhagen Flames are in this awkward battle of attrition when it comes to the economy game. And I think at this point, it should just be somewhat of a Deagle purchase, maybe just a few default pistols across the board and trying to get that economy under wraps at this point, because Fiend are in the dominating position.
And for Copenhagen Flames, dealing with that explosive AWP now is something completely different to Nuke. Looking at the stats for Hahn, when he doesn't get to play with the AWP over on Nuke, he's getting a 1.001 rating for the team in the last 6 months. Whereas here on Mirage, in the last 6 months, he's got a 1.26 rating. So he's been a real standout for Fiend on Mirage specifically. Gives that a lot of freedom to work with. Bubble in this round, given some opportunities early. Copenhagen Flames get a kill, but that's probably not enough for them, especially as Gabby is about to be spotted in the fading smoke. Another round where Copenhagen Flames are forced to take a risk, but it's not a risk that's successful this time. They lose the early trades and probably lose the round with those early kills going against them.
Oh, Dreamer. He's coming with a brilliant headshot, Hooksy down. And Zyphon, aggression will work for him, and that's going to be an AK. And the rest of his team are already gone at this point. And Fiend are on the hunt. They don't want to let anything go into the hands of the CT side. And Victor, he has been unrelenting, unforgiving. Victor gets a 6th round locked in for Fiend. And obviously, I think many people are forgetting the fact that this is, of course, the qualifiers for what is going to be one of the most important lands we've had in so long, right? Because we did obviously have IEM Cologne, but IEM Fall should be even bigger in terms of the prestige that it will provide going to the major. Not so much big as Cologne, but definitely one of the biggest lands we'll have. So much pressure on the line. It's, considering we haven't had a major in over 2 years, Hawker, this is very important for these teams.
And just winning one series to get there could be huge for either of these two teams. Because if you do well at that IEM Fall event, even if you have 0 points, you could get straight into chances to qualify for the major just from that one event. It's going to get you a lot of RMR points. Red Star opening up the B-bomb site. 2 quick kills, and Fiend are just turning it up individually, and the CTs can't handle it right now. This has got to be a save, right?
Yeah, looking like it. Fiend are just tearing up the server at the moment. Something about Fiend in qualifiers that we were casting, Hawker, just seems to be a good recipe for success for the Fiend side. I remember casting them a couple of months ago in the DreamHack Masters qualifiers, and they had to play against what was OG and the old Cloud9 back then. Managed to make it through to the main event. Will they do it again here? A little bit of a lesser opponent, you would say, than some of those teams that were in front of them then. In Copenhagen Flames, they're going to call for their first tactical timeout here on Mirage. I feel like it's definitely needed, because they haven't even had a say in the last 3 gun rounds. This has just been Fiend doing whatever they want.
And thinking back to that DreamHack where you said they qualified, you almost wonder how much that influenced them getting picked up by Fiend, because at that time, we remember them being called Voivoda.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they're always going to be a team that's capable of a run like this. I would expect them like once or twice a year to make a run in one of these qualifiers and make it to these top tier events. They're that sort of team. When they're on, they are on.
Oh yeah, they're really experienced players. And really talented players as well. I think the issue has been just those consistent results they need to find. And, you know, if they could be a little more consistent, if they could find a roster that just clicked for the long term, I think this team could really be something deadly. The issue is a lot of their best talent have been exported out to the likes of Complexity or North America with EG. Cirque and Poison out of the country. I mean, these are the players that sort of supplement what can be that deadly team. You really do, I feel, need that extra bit of spice to put you over the line nowadays in Counter-Strike. Because everybody has leveled up their game so much, you need that extra special player.
Even on this team, Han is the AWP is their highest rated player.
Yeah.
So there seems to be something about Bulgarian AWPers that stand out. Slower round from Fiend. They've been winning a lot of rounds early just by forcing fights and getting early advantages with the faster plays. This time they slow it down, but they're only against the Deeg, so it shouldn't be a massive issue.
Ugh, especially when Siphon doesn't even look the right direction. He turned behind him and looked the wrong way. And they're starting to clear out Hooksy and Roy. Wow. Molotov is sticking around. It's really spready. Hooksy actually peeking out for a headshot. There's no way they check for the second player there. That is ridiculous. Red Star just spams the smoke. Roy thought he had got away with that because Hooksy had sacrificed his life to try and make sure that they don't check that smoke at Van. And hopefully with the element of surprise, Roy would be able to pick something up. But they're just so methodical. Red Star clears the smoke.
Yeah, this is looking exactly like that scary version of this team we were talking about, where they do start to show up individually and they just start to hit that flow state where you can't seem to stop them. They've got the players capable of making your life miserable on the CT side, constantly having to live in fear, even when you think you can catch them out. And another round where Fiend default to begin with, but Nico does taking initiative up through mid, taking his chance and giving his team an early frag. And an all-important one, because they've been struggling in those fights so far at the start of the round.
Nico does. Oh, he's got another one. Finally, some life in the Copenhagen Flames as Roy peeks up into top middle as well. That's the bomb down, and most likely the round down around it. It's going to be Red Star and Dreamer. The two remaining players at this moment in time for Fiend. Roy's pushed all the way up into top middle, and he's holding that T-spawn push from Dreamer. Dreamer seems to be aware that the player has crossed into that corner, though. He's going to throw the molly in to try and force him out, but a team smoke comes through the other side. They're just going to lock that position in. You're obviously worried about that, so we're just going to hold this down. Red Star trying to come over and help his teammate. They got to use up all the utility just to get out of the hallways. This is unbelievable. Fiend are just pinned so far back at this point. You never really see this battle come through a Mirage, that's for sure. You don't see too many conflicts in this area to this extent. In the end, it will be Copenhagen Flames to put an end to it quickly. A much better round out of them, Hawker.
Definitely. And I like the adaptation of going for some aggression of your own, because Fiend have just been defaulting in the majority of these rounds. So you should get the chances for some fair fights if you're confident enough to take on some aggression. It is sometimes hard to flip that switch when you've been losing so convincingly and try and make the proactive play, but I'm glad they did it. Even though they're down, they realize that's the best chance to win them rounds, and now Fiend goes straight back to the fast play, this time up through mid.
And Dreamer, he's found himself a very important kill. That's going to give that man advantage to Fiend to play with, and Roy trying to nip at the heels at the T's. He could get the trade up into window here. Will he expect Red Star to already be through? He's actually going to drop back and play from CT spawn, so he has conceded control of window, realizing it's probably an unfavorable fight to push back into jungle. Particularly if you push through that murder hole, it's always going to go against you. Or more likely than not. So Red Star does have window, but he can't really do anything with it. He can't push through CT because Roy is holding that. So at this moment in time, Red Star's just waiting for his time to strike. Nikodo's trying to get a pick up into the apartments, but here comes the attack from Fiend.
Oh, they're slowing down slightly though, and that's given time for Hooksy to deploy the smoke, and this flank is coming. Yabby's in behind them. Oh boy, Yabby finally pulls the trigger. How much more can he do though? He's out of ammo, so they run him down. 3v2, 4v2 in fact, in favor of Fiend, and they will tuck tail and try and run elsewhere, but Hooksy in position for one, almost getting multiple kills. He made it a double, and now Fiend are going back to B.
This is just getting a little tour of the whole map at this point. And they're going to run straight over to B. Red Star's trying to hold off the short play, but it's actually turned it into 1v1. Nikodos is coming very quickly for that pick, and there is a moment of time where Dreamer can get that bomb planted, but he doesn't have much time to change up his position. And Nikodos has switched out to the AK, and it's all about the fight, and Dreamer with the headshot gets in behind the bench, and Nikodos down for a 9th round for Fiend. It looked like it could have went either way right up until the final moment, and Fiend, they snatch it away from the Copenhagen Flames.
Damn. It looked like Copenhagen Flames were about to snatch it back themselves, though, with some of those plays they made. They had to get a couple of those kills in key scenarios to make the round close. And then that forces Fiend to actually split up and give Nikodos a chance at the end there. But Dreamer just hits the shot. And now Han, looking at Connector, spots out Royale for a frag.
The utility is so simple and effective from Fiend right now. And Red Star's got all the way through window. Oh, no. Are they going to check this? Are they going to check this position? Oh, Hooksy, he's so aware. He will take down Red Star. And now he's got an AK-47 in his hands. That's a nice little upgrade. Elsewhere, Bubble has found one, but Nikodos holding the Palace dropout. He's actually going to look for another one. Dreamer's up in Palace, but he has no idea Nikodos. He had absolutely no clue. Another player would be standing in Palace waiting for him. And he drops right where he stands. And it's going to be a 3 versus 2, now 1. As Dreamer eliminates Hooksy with a swift headshot. Fiend are doing really well at pulling these rounds back. You know, you can give this sort of chance into the round for Copenhagen Flames, but Fiend never really panic. They never overstep. They find their way back in again.
Yeah, they're doing well under stressful scenarios here. So it looked like Copenhagen Flames did hear that boost up. They just didn't want the jungle player to rotate over to watch it, because he was at stairs, so he thought he might get caught. So Hooksy's the man who has to, and he did a good job at getting that gun. But then it was just Nikodos really trying to force the fights on A. He thought he had an opportunity to give them the advantage. Just wasn't aware that there'll be that second player in Palace. Going so far forwards gave away the opportunity for Fiend, which is one they took, and they ran with it. 10-2 lead. I think this is the exact lead we had for Copenhagen Flames over on Nuke, and that turned into a close game. But in this one, they've only got Deegs and an M4, so to get 5 rounds at the half would be pretty difficult. Maybe they can, though. Let's see.
Siphon gets one, but the aggression not really working for much more. So that one rifle, the one weapon that needed to do it all, unfortunately, does not work out. So Fiend off to a decent enough start, trading out that 1-for-1. And now putting themselves in a very advantageous position. Yes, the player count is still the same, but they are against weaker weapons. Red Star, I thought he was about to go down, but he finds both kills on this A site. And now it is just Hooksy and Nikodos left picking up the scraps in this half. How have we come to this situation, Hawker? Nuke was this scenario, but for Copenhagen Flames. Now we're on Mirage, it's a completely different team on the server.
It's just been impossible to stop Fiend so far, it feels. Dreamer.
This is the Bulgarian bulldozer now, isn't it?
Absolutely. You just see with the way they're playing. I mean, Dreamer's been taking a lot of fights, and he's only died 3 times. Almost everyone on the team fragging out right now. Bubble was the IGL, also isn't a bad fragger in general, but so far he's just been the general calling for his teammates to get all the kills. And I don't think he's had to call too much here, because generally it's just been defaults into kills, into round wins.
It's been really easy for them. Nice and simple. See if Fiend can get a 12th round. I think if they get 12 rounds at this point, I think the comeback's almost insurmountable going into the second half.
Oh, Hooksy's committing to the apartments. The rotate's arriving with another smoke, though. Oh no, that's not the smoke they needed!
Not what you want. And Victor is so methodical, clearing the corner again now. Jumping out, it's the window drop coming through from both players of Fiend. They just split out of the B site. That defense is gone, and now it is just going to be Yabi, Nikodos, and now just Xiphon and Nikodos. 5 versus 2. And for Copenhagen Flames, as awful as it may seem, you have to say, they can't do anything about this. They haven't been able to stop the Fiend side. There's no resistance. There's just... It's like the kids, the lower group in school just getting run over by 6-years. It's impossible. You can't stop this. They're just charging right over the top of you.
I mean, that round especially is tough to take because they won't even feel like Fiend had to work for that round because it was just an unforced error. A silly mistake that they made with that smoke. And I see way too many players missing that smoke up into the B apartments. But the whole point of that is Hooksy wants to stay up close for that second smoke, and then he'll probably fall back once that second smoke starts to fade. But as soon as that doesn't happen, he just has to stay up in the apartments. He gives away a fight in the apps, which he never really wanted to take in the first place. It's generally one that favors the AK, and it just leads to a domino effect where the B site is lost, and Copenhagen Flames are left with this investment for the last round of the half. Far from perfect.
Yeah,
they've gone for that mid-aggression again. Just no AWP this time, and MP9 has to play close.
Not the best weapon for it. And you can see how Fiend are so aware of the possibility of this mid-play. Han's just going to hold top mid and just wait for them to walk around the corner. So unlikely that that will be the case right now. Fiend not giving anything up. You don't have to if you're Fiend. You wait for the mistake first of all. They've waited long enough now, under a minute left. Time to bring the fight to them. The bomb could go back to A. They have this one lurking player over in the B apartments of Red Star that's going to start throwing some utility. Victor throwing some util into mid just to try and keep some players at bay, slow down the rotations a little bit, because this looks like it's going to be a contact explosion out in towards the A bomb site, and there's only one player here in defense.
Well, Roy's got the info. Maybe they start to rotate now, but it won't be quickly enough.
How far away they are.
Yabby's committed too.
Oh, he has to step up with this MP9. They're going to check him. Oh, I thought he would have got away with something there, but Victor on the headshot's just too strong. Doesn't go down. He's a tanker now. Nikodo's running through CT spawn. They've got over very quickly for this rotation. Fiend have taken a long time getting onto the site. 9 seconds left. Bomb down in the open. This could be a round for Copenhagen Flames, and it is at the half. 3 rounds picked up. What a chaotic way to finish the first half. Join us after the break for the second. More Counter-Strike action coming your way.
now, why you want to wait?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 12-3 half for Fiend as they lead the way convincingly. What a turnaround from Nuke Hawker. This Fiend team got beat on Nuke. They were getting beat around, but now they're just dominating.
They are dominating indeed on their map pick. Got to see if they can close it, because we know Copenhagen Flames had some issues closing out their map pick. They got there eventually, but honestly, Fiend are looking even better than Copenhagen Flames did at the start of Nuke. Hooksy looking for the play in through the molly, but Bubble's ready, and Bubble jumping for a double! What?
The Bubble Double, everyone's favorite, and now he's got himself another chance for a third kill through the smoke. Bubble is having a field day right now in this round. Ball will go down for Copenhagen Flames, and we have to take note of that, because in the next round, that at least confirms him the minimum of a force buy with rifles, and it looks like that's all they're gonna get here. Defuse starting to come through, Yabby left alone, and he will get himself a headshot, but that defuse has already happened. Bubble's looking for his fourth kill. What? How has Yabby done that? A nice little style point towards the end, but Fiend will win the pistol. And it will be a pretty good force buy up for grabs here for Copenhagen Flames. In particular, Yabby can now get a AK armor. He already has armor, so he can buy an AK-47 upgrade to the helmet. He's got so much available. And Fiend have a very difficult buy to go up against now.
Yeah, Yabby definitely deserves that AK. You earned it, lad. Go ahead and make the most of it. Wow, what a round from Bubble, though. You don't see jumping kills and smoke kills on the pistol rounds too often. All he needed was like a knife, and then he'd have got them all. Yabby's just got the kill out onto A, though. Oh, they're fighting back, but Zyphon here with the AK. Good transfer onto 2, and now Copenhagen Flames could be about to win that all-important force buy you were talking about.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little rough here for Fiend. They've done so much damage onto Zyphon, but they haven't gotten rid of him. And there's no nade here to try and force him out of that spot. So Copenhagen Flames can just sit back in this double setup towards CT and one towards Firebox. It's just so difficult to see a way back in here for Fiend. But that kill, that's one I did not expect to come through. Roy going a little too aggressive in towards CT spawn has given away his life. Luckily, Nico thought his position is good enough, that should be enough with the help of his teammate to win out the round. But Red Star, he's got a pick. Time's ticking though, a little too far gone. And Red Star looked for a better gun, but only Galil's on the battlefield. Zyphon gets away into the next after, just about dies actually. The bomb explosion too much, and that just shows you how close Zyphon was to death, but still got that double kill transfer. And that has given Copenhagen Flames their 4th round on the board.
Well, that is what they needed to give themselves a chance to try and mount the almost impossible comeback here on Mirage. Force buy will be back from Fiend themselves, and we've seen a Victor do some filthy things with the Deeg in this very map. So definitely can't count Fiend out, especially with an AK save too.
Half of Copenhagen Flames' rounds have come in 2nd round force buys, Holker. That's been a pretty slow showing from them, but they've got to get this one under their hands, because they couldn't do this against Fiend in the first half. They won the 2nd round force buy, but they couldn't pick up the follow-up. Fiend answered back, and it was Victor that did it, but this time Victor unable to deliver the impact just yet. It's Hooksy with the first. He's looking for a 2nd on this Mac-10, but he's going to be taken down. Harn on the Deagle. Making that happen, and this AK from Red Star has peeked out to keep it a 3v3. Dreamer on the Deagle, not again. Hawker, surely not. Roy with the AK is trying his best to make it happen for his side. It has still been that clinical player we've seen on Nuke, and he's doing it again. 3K is now Red Star enters the 1 versus 2. 49 seconds left, and that bomb yet to cross safely. Red Star thinks it could go through the murder hole back to B, so he's going to cover off that basis. And that does open up a window of opportunity for the bomb to cross safely to the site. And Roy can now play with his teammate, and that is the huge advantage Copenhagen Flames have at the moment.
Oh, Red Star's so far removed. He's gone all the way to B.
No.
I think he's realized now, but unless they give him the fights early, he shouldn't have the ability to clear all these angles.
You just save at this point? I think you do. I think Red Star realizes you've got such a good piece of kit with you. You've got that AK you've been able to find. You've got the kit on your back, the Kevlar, the helmet, the smoke. It has to be the safe call. It's frustrating, but it's the fact of the matter. That is going to put Copenhagen Flames up to 5. And you've got to thank Roy for winning this round, because it looked like Fiend had done it. It looked like they had pulled it back again and they'd done the ridiculous and won the follow-up after the force buy loss. But Copenhagen Flames, they prevail. And more importantly, or more accurately, Roy prevails.
And they ran out of nades there on their A play, which is a big reason why that became so uncomfortable. They just had every single angle that they had to be afraid of, had to be scared of, especially with those shots landing. This is a somewhat surprising call from Fiend. One save would have been enough to get them a really nice buy, but they don't want a full buy. They want to go ahead and put the pain on Copenhagen Flames as soon as possible. I guess the upside of this is you have such a big lead that you can afford to go for these risky forces. But at the same time, if you lose this, then there's a chance Copenhagen Flames could start a pretty good streak for themselves. So quite a lot on the line here, but we've seen Fiend already come close in that previous round. And if I were Copenhagen Flames, I would be kind of scared, because I'm not sure they'll be fully ready for this force buy.
I don't think so either. We'll see if Fiend can make it happen in this round. Copenhagen Flames starting it slow, keeping it methodical. At this point, with the approach Copenhagen Flames are running, I am almost sure that they will figure out what they're going up against at a certain point before it gets too nasty. So it's cool to see them playing this slow approach, being careful, giving it the respect it possibly requires. They don't know for sure, but they're aware of the possibility. They got to be walking up in towards A. They're walking into the lion's den. They're walking into the Bulgarian stack. Is it going to come out on top here for the CT side? Here comes
they have nades
Copenhagen
at least.
Flames.
Oh, they're not using them yet, though.
Oh, contact play. That actually works well. That works really well. Yabby gets the double and Nico does with the follow-up. As you said, they had nades, but not using them doesn't give them the warning signal. There's no warning siren at all for Fiend.
When those contact plays end up like that, it really is oftentimes down to just that first fight. Because if you lose the first fight, then you're swinging, trading your teammate. You're probably looking at just that one angle, and that's where the other Fiend players in, scary positions that you haven't been able to clear can probably just get free kills into the side of you. So really nice work there from Yabby to get those 2 early kills. That makes it so much more manageable on that A approach. And 6 rounds confirmed for Copenhagen Flames. Red Star just somehow always saves this AK, though. Gotta give him credit for that. If not much else, sadly.
It's like Jam Time AK-47 edition.
Yeah. Or maybe it'll pay off soon. Quick update from the other matchup. It is worth pointing out that the loser of this matchup goes up against the loser of the mainstream matchup, and that one has concluded. FaZe took the win 2-0, booking themselves a spot at IEM Fall 2021. So that means the loser of this series would play up against Opa for a spot at the main event. So still opportunities for both of these squads, even if they were to lose. But obviously, ideally, you want to win right now. It is quite a relaxed qualifier format, though, in the closed qualifier. There's a lot of spots available, which is nice for these teams who work so hard to make it through those open quals.
The open qualifier is... it's nasty, especially the first few games you play against randoms and possibly cheaters. It's never a comfortable experience being in an open qualifier. Or you can be one of the lucky teams that end up getting someone like us up against them all. We do like to enter these competitions.
I mean, it's worth pointing out that Copenhagen Flames played in the first open qualifier and they lost in the round of 32. And then they won the second open qualifier. So that kind of goes to show how scary it can be. I believe they lost against Aves in that first open qualifier in an overtime affair. This round, obviously, not much. for Fiend.
It's kind of crazy thinking about that, you know, in terms of just that's just a really good way of understanding the disparity between the teams in Europe. It's just incredible that there isn't much of a disparity anymore, considering the fact that I think the level of Counter-Strike has really raised completely across the whole scene. I think we really started to notice that, especially with this online era. The fact that Gambit went to be #1 in the world, everybody started taking note of, okay, these teams that we kind of considered tier 2 for a very long time are actually really good at Counter-Strike. And we started to peel that back a little bit. We started to see more and more of the teams coming out of the tier 2 scene that are just incredibly strong. And I think people have started to realize now that the level of CS has just risen to an unbelievable level. Because I remember watching back, you know, old VODs. We see Maui Snake doing that in the show as well. The level of CS is just so much better now.
Oh, easily. I mean, a couple of the teams that couldn't make it to this closed qualifier, teams like Gorillas and South, they've got some good players. Hello, Zyphon. Maybe didn't realize Harm was there, but they figured it out.
Yeah, now comes the attack out of Palace. Bomb is already down, and this is much better out of Fiend. That's a brilliant turnaround from Bubble and Victor, the veterans from Bulgaria, making it work. And Zyphon and Nikodos left alone. This is looking like 14 almost surely locked in for Fiend. Nikodos is going to have to pull off almost the unthinkable with his AWP. And because it has happened so early in the round, there's a lot of utility still available for Fiend. And Dreamer has taken Syven down, leaving just Nikodos in the 1 versus 4. May's trying to come through. Goodbye, Nico. They know exactly where you are. Surely at this point. Somehow Red Star slipped in behind him. Bubble's going to be asking questions about that, I'm sure. But 14-7 on the board now. Fiend 2 away from sending us to map 3. And Copenhagen Flames, they will have another bye.
It's quite a risky round from Copenhagen Flames, just trying to force it out through Palace like that. I wonder if they are just willing to take some more of those risks, because that is a high-risk, high-reward play. If you catch your opponents off guard, you're probably going to win the round. If they catch you, you're probably going to lose out. And when you're so far behind, you might feel freed up to make those plays. And here comes another play. Hahn able to get a shot in through window, though. Looks like he found a gap in that smoke.
Oh, Roy. He's going to try and get through Con. Surely Dreamer just dies here. Yabi's so effective, so great on the clearance. And that Molotov's going to force Victor into the open as well. Fiend having a bit of a rough time right now. They're losing too many members, and this looks like the perfect response from Copenhagen Flames. Well, they haven't cleared Victor out. Victor's still chilling down underneath the wood. Well, they have lost quite a bit of map control. Roy's all the way at Murder Hole. Yabi pushing through T-spawn. Bubble, you sneaky man. How? How does Yabi still get that? Bubble should have had that locked in. Absolutely no problem. But somehow gets found.
Well, at least they've got the information that it's probably a B play. So Victor will start to rotate over to the right site. And with 2 CTs on B, you never know, Dinko. If Copenhagen Flames full send this on the B site, there could actually be a chance for the CTs to steal back the round.
Oh, good kill from Hahn. Gonna change that position up. Another kill for Hahn. 3 in the round. And they're testing him. But he is unbreakable, unyielding so far inside of the site. And finally, Nikodos puts him in the ground. It's a 1 versus 2 for Victor, and one that is stopped in his tracks. How anticlimactic was that? That really was going to be a huge step up from Hahn, and then suddenly Nikodos just jumps out, gets a good position, and just on the blind side of Hahn takes him down.
They forced him into uncomfortable spots there, though. If you're the AWPer, you never want to be having to fly out through the apartments like that, and yourself having to force the trade. But gotta give credit to Nikodos for being willing and aware that that's what he needed to do in that scenario. And even then, if Victor just wins that 1v1 duel against Yabi, there's a very good chance he could have won that round. So Fiend take it surprisingly close with the stack on the right side. They did pretty well to do so. But this is what the T's needed to have an opportunity here. Breaking the bank may give them an easier round. Then again, it's the Bulgarian Deegs we're talking about. And no rounds are easy against them. I'm a bit surprised Hooksy didn't jump across to chair there. I feel like you've got to be ready for the Deegs. holding some angles like that. And if you do just jump across, it's really hard to hit the shot on that position. They're still spread out here on the T side. There could be 1v1 fights for Fiend, but that shot from Roy helps bring it back a bit.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate for Fiend. I think in this scenario, you want to hold on to those advantages as long as possible. And when you lose a player, you want to trade it almost immediately. You can't let Copenhagen Flames get comfortable with numbers now. 35 seconds left. Through the connector they go. I have Palace player of Yabi, and oh no, he's starting to crack open. The only defenses that are in place on the A site. He's done well enough to do that. 20 seconds. And what once stood as a round chance for Fiend is slowly starting to slip away. Eagle trying to charge forward. That bomb will go down, and Harn trying to fight out the Palace peak, but once Copenhagen Flames get that bomb down, I think this is all but confirmed. 9 rounds for the Danes. The comeback is truly happening.
Red Star's got an AK again. Why am I not surprised? I'm sure he's
Still
not
a honing
secretly like putting a disguise on and somehow buying those.
He's a
He's
a weapon stealer.
Oh, and an orb. Very,
Ooh.
very nice.
That
We
is a
love
little
that.
spicy. Look at this.
Oh no.
Yabby yabby doo. He's got
They're
2,
just
and that's 9
backwards,
rounds
man.
now. Yeah, they moonwalk right into him.
Oh, Yabi couldn't quite believe his luck there. Fiend had no clue that he was so far pushed in. They've still got money for the buy, though, so it's all good. And this is where our test, we can test whether Red Star has a T-side disguise, and apparently he doesn't, Dinko. He can't actually buy an AK on the CT side, believe it or not. So it is the
He
M4A1S.
But he bought it on the other side. He's currently mind controlling someone else on the T side. That's what's going on.
Maybe, maybe. Are we going to have a comeback again here, Dinko? Are we going to have another close map? This was so one-sided in favor of Fiend.
Caster's curse, Hawker. You don't do that anymore.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah, but even putting that out into the universe really threatens our reality. So, be careful. Red Star's coming for you. Here we are, 24 rounds on the board. Played out so far, and we're going to see how this is going to happen for
Ouch.
Fiend. They have lost the first player. Bubble's gone down, and now comes the quick B hit. 2 players in defense over here, though, and it's going to be Dreamer with the first, but he's traded out. Still 1 in place, though, and he's cleared out as well. Copenhagen Flames up to 10. Turns out both of these teams don't know how to play CT side.
Apparently. Or maybe they're both just excellent on T side, Dinko. Why you got to be so negative, man?
Because it's the yin to the yang, right? You know, you're going to be the man that... You're going to bring the positivity. I'll bring the harshness. And I don't know how Yappy is actually just always in the right spot to stop them saving their guns. Every time, he's just there. He's just behind them.
They all count, man. All the kills count the same. And they are relevant, because denying those 2 save guns means Fiend can't get a buy they would if they maybe did save those rifles.
Apart from team kills, Alex, I found a flaw in your logic there. Team kills are worth less, actually.
That's true. Yeah, again, looking at the last matchup on Mirage between these teams 2 weeks ago, it was kind of a similar story, where both teams did much better on their CT sides. So maybe that is just a consistent theme for these two when they go up against each other. Top mid control taken. You would just love some nades right now on the CT side. You would love a molly to force them out from behind that top mid box, but they don't have that ability, and that means Copenhagen Flames can set up their smokes safely.
Yeah, just imagine a nade stack over the top of this box is just doing so much damage, maybe coming away with a kill, if not doing enough damage that the Deagle body shots then become potent within 1 hit. Really could have made a big difference, but not to be.
This is actually nice from Copenhagen Flames. They took mid, they put those smokes down, and so Fiend feel like they have to get some ground back because they lost the mid control. But that means they go aggressive on ramp, where we could see some chances.
Here we go. It's going to be Copenhagen Flames about to pop out of Palace. 2 players close by, and they're both going to get torn to shreds. Harn and Victor easily dispelled. And now with 45 seconds left, that deep utility in the jungle starts to come through. Smoke into the site. We are seeing a lot of teams in these specific rounds, they don't want to run that A execute. They will not want to run it because it's too standard, right? I think it gives too much to play with for these weaker pistols that are going to be much more willing to take risks in those kind of rounds and play in and around or in front of those smokes. Whereas in a rifle round, that standard smoke execute is much more likely to be met with respect, right? You're going to expect those rifles to sit back and play for the retakes, whereas they can get a little difficult to deal with if these pistols are pushing through them from all fronts.
And as I was saying, I like that it was the mid control initially that they went for before going back to A. I feel like that is going to bait out some aggression at times. And even though those are close range fights on ramp, I think you probably prefer to just take those early ramp fights rather than having to push in and clear all those angles. Like you were saying, it's really hard when running that even A execute, where you could just be running into all these annoying different positions. 14-11. Fiend finally with another buy. If you have just joined us, this is a bit scary now for Fiend, who were 12-3 up at the half. They even won their CT pistol round, but were broken immediately by Copenhagen Flames, who have been on a tear on their T side. Fiend will want to put a stop to that here, though, and Copenhagen Flames instantly setting up with almost all their players outside this B site. Currently, only one M4 here to stop them, and Red Star's playing pretty far back.
Yeah, he's even setting up his own supportive flashes to try to keep them back, but here comes the attack out. Yeah, this isn't the B defense you really want, but luckily Dreamer's coming in from short to help out Red Star. And Red Star's staying alive. Dreamer's just taking everybody out. In the meantime, finally, Red Star is overrun. Copenhagen Flames do have the site, but they won't be able to get that bomb down, and they've lost another member. They're down a couple, and the no-scope from Harn, ready for the window push, has put Hooksy in the 1 versus 3. And it looks as though we're going to have that 15 rounds now for Fiend. Hooksy's going to try and 1v3 clutch this, but the angle's held. Bubble gets the right spot. And map point for Fiend coming into this.
Bubble flanking through the B apps is so impactful there. The bomb was still up in the apartments, trying to wait for fights to come to him. So Bubble gets that flank going, drops that one man in apps who had the bomb, and that's why Copenhagen Flames felt like they just needed to make some hero plays. They felt like they just had to force fights through the kitchen smoke. Just go ahead and just try and get something, but Fiend were ready for it. Bubble going straight through his own molly there, so I'm wondering if they're ready for him to be an underpass. Or maybe not. Bubble eventually gets that kill, but Roy there for the instant refrag.
Yeah, this is looking good for Copenhagen Flames, at least competing in this one. It's not going to be just a Fiend walk in the park to take this out and send us to the third straight away. They're going to have to dig deep to do it. And Copenhagen Flames, they look to hit B again. Dreamer was the player that was the problem for them in the previous round. Can he do it again here? Can he make it difficult for them? Roy with the headshot. Dreamer is down and out. A 4 versus 3 with Copenhagen Games on the man advantage.
Hanzo might find them a chance, but oh, that's so nice from Copenhagen Flames. They're patient. They don't go into the open. They knew it might be an AWP rotating over. They wait for him to stray out and search for the kill, and they knew that Nico Doz was watching it the entire time. Easy pickings for the T-side AWP, and Copenhagen Flames already hunting, and it's that man again, Yabi, who wants to deny them.
Well,
oh,
Red Star.
not this time.
Yeah, great pick for him. And Fiend are just going to have to concede this one.
Saving these two guns would probably give them enough to buy into the next. Oh, and it's a good kill from Victor. Now he looks back to ramp. Roy into position, sprays 1, sprays 2, and leaves Fiend with a couple of players slightly short-changed ahead of this round. They've got a decision to make here on the CT side. What are you thinking, Dinko? Force here? I don't know. I feel like when you're at this point of the game, it could be worth just taking the conservative approach. They don't agree, though. They can afford to drop one, so you can't really hate Fiend for this. Getting the AWP out into the hands of Red Star currently. Han could actually do the same, too. So the more and more I look at this, the more and more I think this is fine. Probably getting 2 AWPs out of it. Victor on the rifle. I believe there's another one already dropped, if I'm not mistaken. So this buy is way better than I realized. Maybe they themselves took the time out just to do the maths as to whether or not they could afford the buy. 2 MP9s in play, but the 2 snipers could definitely be the difference makers. They're on the top fraggers right now, and Red Star gets the initial kill on mid. That smoke came slightly too slow. Boost up into the ladder room for Han also, and they're not ready for the AWP to be here so soon. Both AWPs having impact early, and Fiend looks set to take themselves this map as long as they can close this 2-man advantage. Oh, they're still going. Dreamer's MP9 gets one. Victor fighting from CT, and it's all on Yabi in towards ramp. He's got the molly to try and help him gain ground, but he's down to 43 health, just waiting to see if someone will give him the fight. But Fiend realized they can afford to sit back and force Yabi to come to them. They've even got Bubble pushed into top mid, so they know he can't fall back. They know he has to be on this A side of the map. And even though he's repositioned to Palace, Red Star's AWP is scoped on this angle. And surely he's about to land a shot if this fight were to come through. He's missed it. Yabi now coming back. Seeing if he can find something else. There is the ramp push right now, but he's not looking towards ramp, so it will be Bubbles MP9 who's about to get the fight, and Yabi's not ready. Knife out. Oh, he actually gets away early, but the nade helps. The volley there. Nice shot from Yabi, but Red Star in with the trade. 16-12 for Fiend. One more map coming at you.